Hello, my name is Sergio Santos, and today I'm going to talk about a topic that is quite sensitive. At least to me, it is. Something close to my heart, which is depression. I had two very low points in my life where I felt depressed, but I never told anybody. So I was never actually diagnosed because I was hiding it from family, from friends, even from my girlfriend. I never went to a doctor because of it. But yesterday I saw a post of someone that had lost a friend because he had committed suicide. Someone that at the surface was normal. More than normal, it was someone that seemed happy. But underneath, something else was happening. And I related to that. Although before I had a tendency to hide my feelings, I felt that when it became really dangerous was when I was feeling really down and depressed. And I could feel the danger that would come with it. So today, I want to share something that might be really helpful for you if you're going through moments like that, or if you know someone that is going through depression. And today I'm just going to share an idea, a concept that I discovered while I was going through it that really helped me. I might share more about it, different strategies, but today is this idea. And this idea came because I realized that, at least for me, depression came slowly, but it really started to snowball and compound over time. And the way it came was the following: I was feeling alone, I was feeling down, I was feeling bad about myself. So, this feeling made me do things that I didn't want to do, things that made me feel worse. So, this started at the point that I felt bad about myself, then I would take an action that was somehow self destructive. That was the way I thought about it, and I could see it, but I couldn't stop it. And then I would feel worse. Then I'll do something even worse, and then I'll feel worse, worse, and it was like a cycle. Until I realized that it was actually not a cycle, and this is the concept that I want to introduce to you. This idea. It is a spiral because it goes down and gets worse and worse. I always saw it in these moments as a downward spiral of self destruction. If you don't stop it, things get worse and worse, and you create a hell in your head. And therefore, you act even in worse ways, you take less care of yourself, and you just feel worse and worse until you might do something really dangerous or even harm yourself. So it needs to be stopped. And I'll give you an example so you can understand better. Waking up. In a very low point in my life, the first time this happened, I used to wake up around 8 9 a.m. and then I started to waking up later. Then it would be 9:30, 10, 12, until it went to afternoon hours. The worst is it got, I was getting out of bed maybe at 5 or 6 p.m. Not because I needed to sleep more, but because I just couldn't have the strength or the will to get out of bed. Because everything, it was like meaningless, everything was felt pointless, and I had the thought, I hate myself constantly in my head. And the worse I did, the more I hated myself, and the more I hated myself, the worse action I would take. Everything related to self care was really difficult for me. I had to push myself to have showers. I have to push myself to eat properly because I started just eating worse and worse. I started neglecting exercise, stopped doing physical exercise until I got really down. And then when I got this concept of the spiral, I noticed something else, this spiral that goes down. that some days I'll be a little bit stronger. I had a little bit of will that allowed me to stop this pattern, to stop this downward motion of the spiral. And eventually, there were some days, even because of friends or something good just happened in life, and I noticed that the spiral not only goes down, but it goes up. It's the same spiral. I noticed that if I could just do something to interrupt the patterns, I stopped feeling this downward motion. Not only that, but I noticed that then, if slowly, in incremental steps, I started taking the actions that would empower me, making me feel better, the spiral started going up. And it was just a matter of starting. And here there are two ideas that you can use, two options. One is with little actions. I'll tell you something I did. I mentioned the example about waking up. So one day I decided, okay, I was waking up in the afternoon. I was tired of that. I said, okay, I'm just going to wake up tomorrow at 10 a.m., no matter what. I know it's not early, but for me at the time it was, because I was waking up in the afternoon. So I just did it. And I noticed this exact effect that I just described. Then there was back and forwards, and I noticed, okay, I'm again waking up late and then early, because this wasn't a smooth process for me at all. Meanwhile, I had to be lying to people to pretend that everything was fine, not answering phone calls because I would be in bed and I didn't want to talk to anybody. So eventually, I started accumulating these little actions. Okay, I did this. I woke up at 10 or at 9 a.m. I would somehow get out of bed. Okay, let's straight, not think, have a shower directly, or go for a run right now. Let's go. And I started that downward motion started first stopping and then started going upwards. And I noticed that is the exact same process of growth, of progress. Another thing that I use, so I gave the example of actions, you can use words. During these times, I had constantly this self hate talk in my own head, creating a hell for myself. So I started using only a word, saying no. Every time I had a thought that was putting me down, I created an opposing voice that would just say no. At the time, I didn't have the strength to create positive things in my mind. Only the opposing voice saying no. And that also stopped that downhill spiral also stopped when I did that. And that, with the little actions, allowed me to revert the spiral to start going upwards and upwards and upwards. This happened as well the second time it happened to me when I was outside Portugal. I was even more isolated. And I felt, okay, yeah, I know what to do now. And I knew that there was something there, that there was a process that could be used, once understood, could be used to overcome depression by using incremental small actions that either stop the pattern of the spiral or revert it, or by creating just an opposing voice to the self-hating voice that goes in the head. Just opposing it. No. That's all it needed. This combined really helped me overcome these difficult times in my life. If you're going through something like that, try it. See how it goes for you. There are other strategies that I will share in the future, but for now, I'm going to share this simple concept of the downward spiral of self destruction that can be converted into an uphill spiral of growth. That's all for me today. I hope this video is helpful for you. If you have anything you'd like to ask, you can either leave a comment and send me a direct message or email. Looking forward to hearing from you. It's all for today. Bye.